And I would ask Chief Cadmus Delorme to now come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. I just wanted to thank the judges, Minister Morgan, Chief Judge, Gladys, family, everybody in attendance, and most importantly, the Honorable Judge Pelletier. I was very excited today to get up and get ready to come here because on Cowses, when you get ready and you wear a tie, you say, I'm going to wear my court outfit today. And I actually got to wear it today. Our signatory chief, Chief Kwewazance, in 1874, touched the pen to this new relationship with the settlers, with Canada, with the Crown. And right before he signed treaty, he seen this guy sitting there. He was sitting beside Alexander Morris, the commissioner. And everybody was going to this individual. They weren't going to Alexander. And so Chief Kwewazance asked the translator, who's that guy? And the translator said, he's the lawyer. He's the one that is interpreting the legal side. And Chief Kwewazance said, if I touch this pen, can my kids be like him? And that translator said, absolutely. And Alexander Morris gave him the thumbs up. And Chief Kwewazance touched that pen 2 days later. And here we are sitting in 2019, and one of Chief Kwewazance's descendants is sitting here as a judge in this province. It's very emotional because we know the challenges that are in our past. Gladys, I just think the world of. When you're from Cowses, you know Grandma Gladys, Auntie Gladys. She flutters like a butterfly, but she stings like a bee when she has to. And I know Judge Pelletier was raised with both of those. And so I know that heart is going to be leading, but that sternness is also going to have to be there as well. In 1967, at the 100th centennial of this country, Chief Dan George stood up in front of the Stanley Park in Vancouver, and he read a poem called A Lament for Confederation. And in that poem, he thanked Canada for all of the wrongs that have been done. And he thanked Canada for putting our people in such a state that we were just so confused. But then he went on in A Lament for Confederation in his poem to say that we're alive and we're well. And we're going to take the tools of the settlers. And we're going to sit in their house of law one day. And we're going to be the proudest nation that we could be. That was 50 years ago that he read that. And we have Justice Pelletier sitting here implementing what Chief Dan George wanted of our people. Right now on Cowces, we have 1,300 youth under the age of 18. One of them is sitting in the corner right there, and he gets to witness this. When he sees his mentors, he sees business, he sees bus drivers, he sees teachers, but now he sees a new level that he can obtain, and that's being a judge. And that's something really key to us because there is no limits. I just wanted to mention that we're in a Truth and Reconciliation calls to action right now. They're not recommendations, they're calls to action. And I want to thank Minister Morgan and the Sask Party and the government of Saskatchewan for appointing Judge Pelletier. Because right now there's a mistrust. Right now there's a sense that we don't belong in a system that we didn't create and weren't able to help create it. But we can't change the past. Us in this room, we didn't create residential schools. We didn't create the Indian Act, but we all inherited it, the aftermath together. And with appointing Judge Pelletier here, he has those oral stories. He has those moccasins to realize that sometimes when someone's sitting there ready to plead guilty, that they feel the system is broken and they don't want to fight it anyway, so they're just going to plead guilty and go do their time. And sometimes there's something more deeply rooted in that person's journey, because everybody has their own journey to tell. And Judge Pelletier can now look at them in the eyes and they could relate. And I'm not saying they can't relate to you sitting here. I could sense that you really try. But to have someone in your circle to explain something from a grassroots level, from something that you don't read in books, that's a really good thing as one chief in this province, and I thank you all for doing that. In conclusion, I just wanted to mention that Murray called me a couple weeks ago, and I said, could you come to our powwow? I want to walk in with you in our powwow. And he says, I got to ask my chief, he said. I was like, Murray, I am your chief. I was like, Murray, you know what? I'll share that you have two chiefs. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Gladys specifically, because there was a time in this country when Indigenous people, it was actually a law. We couldn't even ask the justice system to help us. In 1929, there was a law. And that was when Gladys's parents were here. That's when JN and your Kukum were here. And now today, if they were sitting here, they would look up and be so proud that not only can we ask the system to help us, but we are being a part of the system. And in conclusion, I just wanted to really quickly, I don't want to take too much time, but we have a little gift for you. I just wanted to call up three of my counselors. I see them in the audience. If I can call up Counselor Gary, Counselor Richard, and Counselor Denise. And can you pass me that gift? I left it with your mom there, with your grandma. We want to present you with something very honorary as a judge. And if you can just really quickly come here, we're going to blanket you with the logo of our nation. And this blanket is going to be from the ancestors to the present to the future, that they wrap their arms around you, that you do the right thing, Judge Pelletier, that you look after all, Indigenous and not, because we share this land collectively, and we will as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows. And if you want, you can put it up as a curtain in your office. With that, I just want to thank and congratulate Judge Pelletier on behalf of your 4,277 citizens and this entire province. We are very proud of you. The tough job is ahead, but just let you know, we're all proud of you. So, hi. Thank you very much.